And that's the soundbite for the whole con. That's
it. Thank you.
That's going to go on the trailer for next year. Just
MCM.
Welcome to Comic Con.
I'm knackered.
No, I'm wide awake. It's all good.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, kicking off with the obvious question. For people who don't come to these cons, who don't experience it, what's the magic of Comic Con? What makes it such a very special place to be for people like you and for the people getting to meet you?
It's like nothing else, really, you know, with the atmosphere. And it took me years to get used to it, actually. And to kind of, and now, I mean, you always get surprised by something, especially the costumes, and how far people go and how amazing, you know, the work. I don't know how they do it, you know what I mean? It does fascinate me. For me, the best bit is meeting the whole families. I like talking to the kids and stuff like that, whether they're dressed up or not. Especially when they're talking about, you know, Primeval and how they watched it as a family. I really enjoy. That means a lot to me because then, you know, you know that you've made an impact and you've done something right. You know, it's weird when they turn around to you and you go, "Oh, you were my childhood." You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm really old now, aren't I? Because you're like, God. But then it's special. You know, it's special, so the whole thing, the atmosphere is brilliant. Especially on a Saturday at MCM, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy down there already. Like, and I know it's just going to get rammed. Going to the toilet is not my favourite thing because it takes forever to get through the crowds, doesn't it?
Try getting a coffee.
I know.
So you were saying about meeting families and stuff. Do you think it's that kind of family draw that made Primeval such a successful show?
Yeah, and I don't know why it was that successful. I mean, I liked it, but I'm biased. So, one thing I will say is when Hannah and I got given the first couple of episodes on DVD before anybody else to have a look, I think we got given the first 4. We couldn't stop watching it as well, and it weren't just about us being in it. We were like, because the great thing about Primeval is that on a Saturday night we watched it like anybody else because we didn't know what it was going to look like. We were like, is it going to look naff, that bit, you know what I mean? Because nothing's there, and then you watch it, you go, we look wicked. So I guess a lot of people who are in special effects, I've never done much special effects in the big budget film type stuff, but I guess it's the closest I've got to it. But as for why it was successful, I think there was something about the 5 of us they got right. Weirdly, we didn't do chemistry reads or anything. I didn't even read with Hannah. So, and just something clicked on set. We were all really random people put together, and we all had a lot of traits of our characters for sure. You know, Douglas Sancho is an amazing actor. He is very serious, and he did think I was mental. So that was, you know, it was like what was on the screen, and but there was a respect between us. And like when he left, we were gutted. You know what I mean? I was really devastated, kind of losing me dad in the show. You know what I mean? So, but selfishly, that lended to Connor loads more story arcs and stuff. So he kind of did me a favour in that respect, like professionally. But yeah, when they split up the team and like when Stephen died, and so suddenly you're like, oh God, this is changing. And it was kind of just me and Hannah and Ben Miller left at the end.
I mean, what was it like dealing with it when they were doing those kind of soft reboots of the show?
In what respect would you mean?
Well, just when they change the timeline and then you come back and then it's all different.
Oh, we never knew what to expect. And don't forget as well, we got episodes sometimes we read and we go, oh, that's mental. And then we'd had a rewrite and it completely changed. Right. Whether it was to do with budget or whether it was to do with location and stuff. So until we were literally a couple of days before, we didn't get too attached to what was going on. And also, when we got to the location, obviously they write all this stuff. They plan it as much as they can. I mean, Framestore was the guys at the start with us. We were all learning together. Even Framestore said we'd never done effects like this on a TV scale with this limited budget. So we were all learning together, which was cool. And I love that kind of. I mean, I made the making of. I directed the making of, so I got to go to Framestore and see how they did it. I even went to the toy factory and saw them sculpting our toys. So I was like in the right place at the right time.
How does it feel to have a toy of yourself?
I'm used to it now. It's still cool.
But when it first happened...
Oh, mate, it was mental. It was like... Dude, like, I'll tell you a story as well. I've said this before. They did all the sculpts, and they did it from, they literally just took lots of pictures of us moving around. And so they freehand sculpt them, which is really talented. So it wasn't the laser thing that they often do. So they really did genuinely look like us. But they sent all the prototypes to Impossible Pictures, and they said, yeah, we like him, but Connor looks too handsome. Honestly, nobody sent it back. So now I'm the only toy who's kind of going,
we like it, but make it less
they
handsome.
put like a smirk on my face. I was like, guys, it's my face.
Through your time with Primeval, is there a certain episode that always stands out to you, like that grabs your heart, like has some sort of real connection to you?
I mean, obviously the first episode, because we didn't. I remember us all sat in, I think it was Black Forest we shot in, supposed to be the Forest of Dean, and we were all sat in this little trailer, you know, freezing our butts off. And we were going, can you imagine if this works? Because we didn't know. I mean, when I first got the script, they didn't say it was ITV. They didn't say it was Saturday night. I had no idea about the plans they had for it. I thought it was kind of some cheesy Channel 5 thing that they wouldn't be able to pull off. Because you're reading it going, this is going to look rubbish. Because there was nothing to compare it to. But then when we got it, they brought us all to Frame Store. Which obviously was exciting, and they showed us like some of the early stuff that they developed for it, and they sat us down and went, we're going to reveal what this show actually is now. And literally the 5 of us, I think we all packed our pants really, because we were like, oh god, there was a lot of pressure, and we knew we were going to be under a lot of ridicule as well. And obviously at the start everybody went, oh, it's ITV's Doctor Who, which it wasn't at all. But that's, you know, they often do that, don't they, compare it to stuff. And I guess because we had Hannah in it, who was, you know, at the time, I think Billy was in Doctor Who, and we had our own little pop star in ours, and so they made comparisons, but I think very quickly people realised it was something different and unique.
Yeah, very much so.
I've not answered your question, have I? I've just totally gone off. I do that.
Well, you did basically. Like the first episode meaning a lot to you.
Yeah, and also I think an episode that I love is the bit, one where, I think it's series 3, where Abby gets taken by the mer creatures to the future, and Connor has his big heroic moment, and he tells her he loves her while she's over the side of the cliff. And one of my favourite all-time scenes is when they get back to the flat, and she's like, you said something, and he's like, yeah. It's just really well done, that little bit, and you're like, just say it. So, but I think, I mean, they drew out the Connor and Abby love story for so long, and not to the point where it was annoying, but the fact that, I love the fact that the first kiss was by her, you know what I mean, and at the end, spoiler alert, you know, it's in the end, but when she turns around, she asks him to marry her, you know what I mean, it's like, oh, Geektown looked good, you know what I mean?
You mentioned there's some of the great moments we did see. I think fans would be really interested. You say sometimes things didn't happen.
Yeah.
Is there anything specifically that you remember that you read and you thought, oh, this is going to be amazing?
I didn't read it, but I know there was an episode where they had plans, and I think it was down to budget that they didn't do it, was Diplodocus coming through, which that's my favourite dinosaur, so just the sheer scale of it, and the fact of what we'd have to do. Obviously, it wouldn't be a predator but it would be smashing stuff up and confused, and they were going to do, like, parasites, because the parasites would have been huge, that would carry, you know, and they were dropping off, and we were having to deal with them, so that would have been a cool episode if we didn't do that. And I always said I just wanted to ride a jet ski at some point. So that didn't happen. But it was really funny. They really humoured us, especially me. You know, I was like, oh, what if we did this and what if we did that? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that later.
We've got a following in America as well for the show.
It did, yeah.
and it did go big. Over here, you know, homegrown fans or US fans, what would you say is best to meet? It's
weird. In America, I'm known for Alice. You know, where I played Hatter, because that wasn't released big over here, but over in America it was massive. I mean, it was on the side of buildings and everything in New York. They did a big release, and that was weird because I kind of suddenly got quite known over. I went to the director, sent me an email, and he went, "You're on number 6 on IMDb in the star meter." And I was above Johnny Depp at the time, who was also playing Hatter. What? I was like, is that good? He's like, I think that's a little bit good. So yeah, I mean, that was really popular. So I do have 2 different fan bases, but at Comic Con I do love it when they talk to me about Alice, because obviously it's a thing that's close to me as well. I got to pretty much play like a cool Connor, you know, in Alice. But without Primeval, I wouldn't have been able to play Hatter. I wouldn't have been ready. But Primeval gave me the confidence with the humour stuff, because I'd never done the humour stuff before. I'd only ever played Psychopaths. That was my whole, or messed up kids. I've played Neuro, I've done, that was my early career. That was what I was known for. I got called in for the real messed up characters, and I kind of fell into that thing. I thought, that's my thing. And then when I got Primeval, I was like, oh no, I've got another thing, which I didn't, and then getting quite famous for being a real nice person was nuts, because obviously I've been working for years. I didn't get it till I was 25. I've been working since I was 7.
So people like me.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then I got worried because I was like, oh no, everyone thinks I'm nice all the time, and I don't want to not play the baddies as well. So, but it's cool. I guess I'm lucky like that because I've had such a varied career like that. When I'm in a show, you don't quite know what I am going to be because I've done both. So, and I'm lucky because I get brought in for. So I get brought in for all the random stuff. If there's, I did it By Any Means, and that was like a computer hacker called Tom who stole 10 million and now was working for the police because they were going to put him in prison. But it's cool because I get the interesting parts. So,
were there major differences about being on set for Alice after you'd done Primeval?
Yeah, we shot in Vancouver, which is now one of my favourite places in the world. Like, it was just brilliant. Like, and the people and everything, I just loved it. And it was all a lot more laid back, but there was a lot of money in it as well. So, and you could see that. And I was the male lead, which was new for me. I'd often been a supporting character, and it was kind of, the costume designer was the guy who did Moulin Rouge, and I had everything tailored to me, and I was like, it was exciting, The best bit was when they took me and Katerina Scorsoni, who plays Alice, who's brilliant from Grey's Anatomy. They took us to a ranch, and a cowboy taught us how to ride a horse, which was amazing. And he was like proper hardcore, and he was like, and we'd done a bit of trotting around. I'd never ridden a horse before. He went, right, we're going to go tracking now. I was like, today? I've only just sat on the horse. And then we were going through rivers, and I was just literally sat there going, if everyone from Bradford could see me now.
Do you end up with aches and pains after that?
Oh my
then?
God! Oh, have you ever ridden a horse? Oh, what's that about? Seriously, no. Honestly, I used to get baths in. Is it Epsom salts? Like oh God, yes, so much. And then I tore my hamstring running in the show as well, which didn't help at all. And I didn't tell anyone. I don't think I tore it. I think I proper stretched it, but my entire leg went black at the back. But and it was my fault, because it was like, don't run so fast, you're going to hurt yourself. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And then you fall over and you're like, oh, I'm an idiot, I've hurt myself, but you don't tell anyone. So yeah, eventually I had to admit it. But yeah, it was, Alice was amazing for so many reasons, really close to my heart, and I'm really proud of, I guess, the Hatter I did. And I didn't think about it too much either. Everyone's like, oh, were you worried about playing kind of an iconic role? I didn't think about it at all, which kind of shows me that I was at the right point just to do it the way I wanted to do it. And Nick Willing, who directed, just put his whole trust in me. Like, it was like, and he didn't even meet me. He cast me from a tape. And he said he met me and he went, you're better looking than I thought you were going to be. I was like, what is this?
There's definitely a theme going on here.
But he's such an amazing mind, and he was just like, and I did my first scene, which is it was a 6-page scene. It's where I first meet Alice, and I did all my little weird stuff that I'd made up. And he started a round of applause at the end of my first take, and he came up to me, he was like, thanks man, because I can breathe now, because I've got the right person. And it was just like really nice, and from then on he just kind of let me do what I do, which is the ad-libbing stuff, and making it up as I go along mostly.
It is very funny.
I love it. I just throw in stuff. I did on my the first read-through of Primeval. I started ad-libbing in the read-through, which is not something you do, but I thought I could just make the line better and funnier, and he was getting laughs and stuff. And then I remember the casting woman coming over to me going, I love what you're doing, but can you do the script? And I really didn't. I was that confident, you know what I mean? Like, with it, I knew that, I kind of knew what to do with it. So, yeah, but it's not me, it's a gift of a part, and I feel really lucky that I got the opportunity to kind of show that sort of side of me.
So I think that's all we've got time for.
Sorry, I talked too much, I'm sorry. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your